the amount of capacity and the type of infrastructure they're able to supply us. The diversification of Compute North is one of the biggest deciding factors of going with them. They're able to place us in multiple states and in very nice regions that can do air cooling. And so having your miners more spread out, it takes less risk for us to make that decision. Roughly 31,000 machines. And so 100 million watts is enough to power a small town. It's very substantial. Atlas Mining has positioned themselves to do roughly over 400 megawatts so far globally. And we plan to expand past 8 gigawatt, which is 1 billion watts here in the next, I would say, 1 to 2 years. The US government is very open, especially in certain states as well. You have a lot more protection to be able to do this type of business here. Also, some of these states, such as Texas and New York, offer some of the most competitive and cheapest power rates in the entire world. So a lot of renewable energy is available here. Solar, wind, hydro, we have an abundance of that here, and that gives a very nice open arms to having miners come in and fulfill that, but also help expand the renewable sector of this country. So it's exciting times. And we're seeing the hash rate starting to ramp up now here in the United States, but also Canada and other regions such as Northern Europe. We diversify in these other regions as well. We are looking to expand in other regions such as Africa. There is Central Asia, such as Kazakhstan, even South America here in the near future. We have to factor in a lot of these regions. We have to study the weather patterns. We have to look at natural disasters. We have to understand the security politically with some of these countries as well. How open are they to accepting this in? And are they able to provide the proper power? Our goal as a company to be carbon neutral. So that is very important to us in our upcoming goals, to be completely carbon neutral and even zero carbon in the upcoming years. And where the renewable energy is, that's where we'll flock to. And what is nice about these large power contracts being signed, it really encourages growth. So it's actually helping grid providers even update their grid or advance their grid further. On top of that, they now have more security to start buying more windmills, start putting more solar projects into place. And I think it's a big benefit to some of these countries because usually they rely on funding from other places, and this can prolong that expansion. Now we put it into overdrive. Tier 0 is a data center that doesn't rely on, say, generator backup power or air conditioning units, depending on the style of mining. So there's different ways of mining with these types of units. You can do air cooling or you can do immersion cooling. Immersion is another new trend that is happening here in the United States and other regions, because immersion is where they can submerge miners in a mineral-based oil. And this can actually help cool these miners and also mine in regions that you wouldn't typically flock to. I mean, these regions are very hot, very dry, and areas that there's a ton of power available. And so this is the way for them to have competitive prices and really compete with other miners out there. In the certain regions where these mining facilities are coming up, some of these areas are kind of out in the middle of nowhere. There's small towns nearby. We're actually creating jobs. We're seeing a lot more global diversification, which I've expressed earlier. Many groups, such as brokerage firms, are actually brokering and getting involved with crypto a lot more. They're doing profit sharing. They're supplying, opportunities to buy sites, such as land and PPA, which is a power purchase agreement, and getting actually involved into crypto a lot more. So a lot more companies want to dive in and be a part of this movement and be a part of this growth that is occurring right now. From when I started industrial mining in 2015, and I was mining globally on many continents. Back then, it was about how can we evolve this industry with other people, other governments. It was basically a learning curve for everyone. We were mining for the coins. We were also selling hash rate for others to get involved. And now it's turning into a full global business that's working with economics in a whole new way, bringing and encouraging digital currency as well throughout many other governments to be involved with. I mean, even third world countries can start getting involved and really participate, which helps their countries. But also the United States, since it has so much power, since it has such a strong economy, it really makes sense to be here.